Hi guys, Katie here. Welcome back to my channel. I'm excited to show you guys what I've been up to lately. I'm going to take you guys shopping at the Goodwill retail store and outlet in Hampton, Virginia. I was there visiting my sister, and of course I come from a family of thrifters. So part of our adventure during this trip was to make sure we hit up the thrift stores. They have a wonderful Goodwill here where half of it is an outlet where you pay by the pound digging through the bins, and the other half is an organized thrift store. They have it all organized by color, which I'm just absolutely crazy about. It is so aesthetically pleasing. But without further ado, I will show you guys what I saw on this trip, what I bought, and just kind of give you guys a little peek around. So let's go ahead and get started. The first place we stopped at was the bin side. That is where you pay by the pound. There was a lot to go through. They do not change their bins out very often, but there's still a lot to look at. I did look at this beautiful Afghan. Unfortunately, it was becoming unraveled, so it had to stay behind. But the book bins did not disappoint. I did find a wonderful assortment of children's books, also some old collecting books, informational books. I grabbed this 31 tote, which was probably really expensive, brand new. And it was brand new, so I grabbed that. But you guys can see there were some really fantastic children's books. I'll be adding these to my vintage booth because they have a really great resale value, and I don't have to mark them up too high because I can buy them really cheap here. I also grabbed this bag for my sister. It's just kind of like a shopping bag, like a market bag. And then they had a bunch of really cool books that all kind of fell into the feminist category. I thought those would make for some. Oh, and cheese. You can't leave a book about cheese behind. And some children's books. So you guys can see it's really a hodgepodge of different items that made their way into my cart. I do like using the old children's books for crafting if they're in bad shape. Otherwise, I just sell those as is. And you guys can see heading over to the regular side, they had all sorts of beautiful things. Everything was color coded. There was this gorgeous vintage hat I ultimately left behind, and now I'm kicking myself about it. But everything is just organized so beautifully. So I did actually shop the clothing and shoes on this trip and did find just a couple of little things. But moving over into the housewares, they had a wonderful selection. Things were a little pricey, but not too bad. Still decent for resale if I wanted to snag them for that. I did think that little box was cute. This little parakeet perfume bottle ended up coming home with me. I'm going to keep it. I actually put it by an old bird cage that I have. Here was also a little blown glass piece. You can see the little broken mark on the bottom showing that it is in fact hand blown. The color coordination kind of makes it fun. You still have to look good because you never know where, little items are tucked in there in between. These were kind of cool. These were old restaurant ware plates, and those would have been considered like a souvenir type plate for somewhere there in Virginia. I did snag this old globe. I absolutely love old globes, especially if I can find them in different colors. My sister grabbed this truth serum bottle. We thought this would be absolutely adorable, especially at Halloween. So those items went into the cart. I think the globe was $5.99, which I thought was a fantastic deal. Oh, there you go. World's Greatest Lover glass. I had to leave that behind, unfortunately. But I'm sure somebody snagged it. That would make a great gag gift, especially at Christmas time. I did end up grabbing a pair of brass candelabras. They had two of them. I think they were $5.99 each. They are massive. They are heavy. I did go ahead and get them both. I plan on keeping those because they are absolutely stunning. You can also see in my hand, I also got that little Bunny Rabbit Royal Dalton mug for a couple of bucks. This was a hard set to leave behind. I love wildflowers. This was a wonderful canister set. However, one of the lids was missing. So I ended up leaving that behind. It is always so depressing to find something really cool and notice that a part is missing. I don't mind if it's damaged. I'll still buy items that are damaged. But if pieces are missing, it makes it a lot harder to make its way into the cart. I have been peeping out souvenir mugs, kind of like that Florida one that you see, because I sell those really well in my vintage booth. Not for a ton, but if I can find them cheap enough and I can put $5-6 on them, they seem to fly out of there. This little spice jar or spice drawer thing was cute. Unfortunately, it was missing a piece. And that teapot was kind of unique. They had all of their silver plate and brass and copper together. I thought about this little bench for quite a while. It was $25 and I thought the paint was fantastic with the right cover. It could be really beautiful. I didn't think I could flip it for much more than that though, and it really wasn't something I needed in the house. So that stayed behind, unfortunately. I'm always looking for old watercolors and botanical prints, things like that. Cool old gilded frames that I can use. It seems like there's just a lot of the Hobby Lobby art these days, so I didn't find a whole lot there. I still love looking at cups and saucers, either for resale or for myself. They had quite a few really sweet ones here. I loved how that one had the little feet on it. For $5 each, those were more than I wanted to pay, but I still wanted to add them to this video. I did like this set here because you don't see black cups and saucers too much. I believe this is made in Japan. And I also loved how it had the little feet on it. They did have a great mix of old and new, so you could find plenty of items that were still in their packaging. And they had a lot of great vintage mixed in there as well. Here's the orange aisle. I'm really into the kind of 1970s vegetables these days. I did like these little drinking glasses. I see that pattern a lot. And here's just one of those old made in Japan little tea sets. They had it priced individually, and unfortunately the lids were missing. But those would have even been cute with plants or something in them in a windowsill. So the black aisle was mostly electronics, as you can see. But I just love it. I love how they do everything according to color. I just think it looks so pretty. This was kind of cool. This was a Ray Dunn clock, and I liked that it was the acorn, but it didn't work. And I'm sure it's one of those things you could probably fix. It looks like it was missing an arm. But otherwise, that might have been something I would have grabbed. I don't typically do any Ray Dunn, but I did like it because it was the acorn. They keep Christmas out year-round, which I love. I wish more thrift stores would do that and not just keep it all back for the Christmas season. I'm going to give you guys a cart shot because after we went to that Goodwill, we ended up going over to another thrift store that supports local veterans. And I got quite a bit here. I did get this little set of metal shelves. I'm going to hang those in my kitchen and put plants on them. And I love copper, so that little basket had to come home with me. I also found this little Made in Occupied Japan pitcher. Unfortunately, he wasn't priced, so they were unable to sell him. But I did get, in fact, my sister and I and my aunt all grabbed all of these cute little mugs they had for 99 cents. They're really cute for like decorating, coffee bars and things like that. I did love this blue glass. I thought it was blue carnival glass, but you can see where the paint's chipping, so it had been painted. This little honey jar also came home with me, this little bear, and he's a bank. I thought he was just precious. So that made its way into my cart. I also did love this bowl, which I thought for sure was vintage, but it's a reproduction. Some really cute little teapots. I am a sucker for trays. I thought this was absolutely beautiful. I think it might have been maybe just a made in Japan piece. And of course, I'm always looking for copper. The nice thing is they just had tons to go through. I love thrift stores where I can get lost in there for an hour as opposed to just walking in and walking back out, in 30 seconds. This little painted board also came home with me. It's a little painted cutting board. This is going to go into my kitchen. I got that for just a few bucks. So it was a good couple days thrifting. As you guys can see, I ended up getting that cute little bank, some plant holders, some cute mugs, a squishmallow, some fun brass pieces, and of course, lots and lots of vintage books. So I am excited with the haul that I am taking home. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this thrift trip. I will see you back here this week with more videos. And until then, happy thrifting. Thanks for stopping by, guys. I appreciate you.